Greetings! Today I made a little simple circuit. I made a little candle based on Joule Thief circuit, and I used a common mode choke as an inductor, as a transformer for the Joule Thief over here, just because it looks cool. And you know, I've taken recently a few devices and all of them have got at least one or two common mode chokes, and you know, it's a shame to throw them away. So I thought, you know what, I want to make something out of it. So here is my little Joule Thief candle, I guess. You can nicely stand it on a table if you wanted to and have a romantic dinner. Yeah, it's a really simple circuit. Literally, it's 4 components. It's the inductor or the transformer or common mode choke in this matter. 1 transistor, that's a 2N2222, 1 resistor, that's a 1K, and an LED, whichever one you can find anywhere, to be honest. And the circuit itself is really simple. So in this video, let me show you how I made this one. I'll just make another one because it's quite simple. I've got a few things prepared and I'll talk you through it. It's a nice beginner's electronics project. If you wanted to make one, it's kind of cool. You can stand it on the table and enjoy, and it will last ages on a little battery. You can actually use this to discharge old batteries completely before throwing them away, because your battery might no longer work in your, I don't know, a Wii remote or your MP3 player, whatever that might be, a radio. But if you put it into this, it would still work for a considerable amount of time because of what the circuit does. So it will take a dead battery and still produce light, using it for the next, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days, maybe even longer. So yeah, let me talk you through how I made this right now. Here are all the parts that I used to make this. So you need the common mode choke. This can be found commonly in a lot of places, things, anything you take apart. This one came out of this power supply. I can't remember where this came out from. Yeah, there was 2 identical common mode chokes over here, and yeah, I've taken one out. So that's this. You'll need a 1K resistor. The value over here is not critical. It can be 1K, it can be 2K, 5K will work, 500 ohms will work. Yeah, and 1K just seems a nice round figure. You will need an NPN transistor, NPN bipolar transistor, and in this case I'm using 2N2222, but again, that's not critical. Any NPN transistor will work, literally any. So feel free to desolder one from somewhere, because I guess that's what this project is about, reusing things that you can desolder out of a board. And just make sure you get the pin out right, which one is emitter, base and collector, and that will do. You will need some thin copper wire. This is not magnet wire, so it's not covered in enamel. This is just plain wire that I've taken the plastic isolation off of it. You will need a little bit more of slightly thicker copper cable, any sort of thicker wire. This is I think 1mm in diameter, just a couple of small sections, that's to make the battery contacts. You will need an LED. Any LED will do, round, square, rectangular, triangular, you name it. It's about it's not important. Any LED will do. The bigger the better. I've got a bunch of those that I haven't got any other use for, because they are what they are. So this is a really old LED, and yeah, that's what I'll be using. Now for the case, you'll need some sections of wood. This is just different pieces of strip wood that I've pre-cut to lengths, and let me explain what each of them does. So I've got the backing. I've got 2 smaller pieces that are the same length over here as the width of the backplate, and one of them will form the base, the other one will form a divider over here, and the battery will go in. Let me pull this battery out. Oops. The battery will go in the middle like so. so later on we'll measure out where exactly to place it. And then two smaller sections like this, just to hold the battery in place so it doesn't roll away from here. And the choke will go here with the rest of the circuitry, and a little piece like that, which I've basically took a cut of square piece of wood, and I've cut it diagonally, so I have a triangle section. And the idea behind this is it will provide a 45-degree angle surface, so the light can reflect off of it a little bit more towards front. And then what I'll stick on top of it is a piece of aluminium tape to provide a crude reflector, and that will be the lamp completed. Now, I've stained the wood on this one a little bit, and what I've used is just plain or ordinary shoe polish, brown shoe polish. First of all, give all your wood a little bit of a sand on a sanding sponge or a piece of emery cloth, sandpaper, you name it. It will make it for a much nicer finished thing. When you're done, we'll have to drill a couple of holes in this and make a choice at this moment which piece is going to be your bottom piece and which one is going to be the middle piece over here. And the bottom piece will need a hole, not all the way through, but almost, in one of the corners towards the bottom, so about like so. That's done, so there's a hole right here, and this piece will need a hole all the way through in the same spot as this one, plus one right in the middle. So let's just do a rough measurement. Yeah, that's good enough. And right in the middle over here. Okay, and let's drill those all the way through. When this is done, get something stiff as a flat surface, just as a point of reference, and we can glue everything apart from that middle piece with two holes in it. This will have to be measured out for the battery a bit later. Use some wood glue for this. Glue it in like this. Wood glue actually dries out quite quick, so it's not even going to take that long. Like this, and those are all the pieces in place apart from this one that we're going to do at the very last. And over here none of the dimensions are critical really, just see what you've got lying around and what you can use. Only two dimensions that matter. One is so I can fit everything lengthwise, more or less. You know, we can make minor adjustments in the end to move the LED a little bit further or closer, and that's about it. The only other thing is all the small pieces, this one and this one are the same length as the width of the board over here, and those over here just small pieces, no specific dimension at all. And I recommend doing all that gluing first, so you can focus on the circuit and give the glue a little bit of time to cure. So now we've done that, let's get the circuit going. So first, have a look at your choke, your common mode choke, which basically is a 1-to-1 transformer, and figure out how you want it to be in place, whether you want it vertical or horizontal, or you know, whichever way you want to have it. I think of this one we'll do differently. We'll have it like this. We will take this which is a beginning of winding 1 and end of winding 2, and we're going to connect those, and this will be our power or positive supply. I'm going to begin by adding a blob of fresh solder on each leg of the choke, just in the end of the wire, and solder it, and here onto another. And all common mode chokes are pretty much the same. You just need to make a connection diagonally across the pins, and that will do it. Now take your transistor, and you've got emitter, base and collector in this order on this transistor. So that's emitter, base in the middle, and collector on this side. What we want to do is connect the collector to one of the empty connectors on the choke, and we're going to use this one over here because it's closer. You've got to think how you want this on this a little bit in the space. So I'm going to improvise a little bit. I'm going to bend the base upwards, so just so we can have easier access to it later on. We've got emitter, base, collector. So collector has got to go on to here and solder that in place. Okay, now we're gonna have to think how to put the diode in, and I want this to be in the middle and a little bit higher than the transistor, like so. So what I'm thinking, I'm going to bend the longer lead, the anode, right over here so it connects to the same pin as the collector of the transistor. Now the resistor, and that's gonna go all the way from the back of the choke, and because of that I've put a little bit of insulation that I took off of this wire. This wire is a little bit thicker than the leg of the resistor, so it made it really easy to come on, and that's just going to provide some insulation so we don't do a silly short anywhere over here underneath the choke. That's done. You could call that an art. But what we need now is another wire like this with a little bit of insulation on, because again we're crossing this wire, and we're going to solder it to the LED pin, which LED cathode and emitter of the transistor should be connected, and they are. And now this is connected to it, so we can push the isolation on, and now the circuit is complete. So let's test it. We should be doing positive over here and negative over here, and we've got light. Now that is done, we need to make battery contacts, and that's why the thicker copper wire. I'm just gonna grab it into needle nose pliers like so, and then twist it around, give it a few turns so we form some sort of spiral thing, trying to keep it centered. Okay, that's probably enough. And just to give it a little bit of springiness, push it out just a tiny bit, just to give it a little bit of springiness against the battery, and that's one done. And that's done too. And just in time, our wood glue has dried up, so I can remove all the clamps. What we have to do is get one of the battery contacts, that's going to be one of them, and then cut a little bit more, because a piece will have to go into that little hole that we drilled earlier on, like this and like this. So let's see, does it fit? Perfect. So that's going to sit in here. Now I have to do the same thing with the other one before it gets attached. Now make sure that this hole in the left is aligned with this one, so they're both on the left, like this. And yeah, that's about right. But put in a battery, and with those battery contacts in place, squeeze it a little bit just to give it a bit of pressure, hold it, and mark it if you can find a pencil, which I cannot. One more time, and mark it with a pencil. There we go. So now I can do the last bit of gluing. Okay, with this clamp down, we can, I guess, wait a little bit. But while we wait, let's trim those wires. We don't need them this long. Let's just pre-trim them to about this much, and those will have to fit through those holes. like this. And now what I'm going to do, you can see everything's lining up just as required. I'm going to press this choke onto the wood, so it leaves me some markings. So with those markings I'm going to just use a little nail, really small nail, like this, and I hammer it through, just so I get a tiny little pilot holes, which later on I'm just going to press the choke into it, and that seems to be holding the other one quite well, so good enough. While that one is drying, I've noticed something. So it produces a little bit of a noise. I can barely hear it, but my daughter told me that she can hear it quite well, and I've checked the frequency, and this is oscillating. This is the old one. This is oscillating about 16 kilohertz, or just under. So that's right at the top of the hearing range ish. So now I know about it. I can hear it. I just wasn't noticing it, but I can hear the very high pitched slight noise. But what I've noticed, that if I increase the output current, so by just attaching one extra LED to the output, it changes the frequency completely, and that completely disappears. The frequency moves beyond human hearing. So yeah, I can definitely hear that pulsating, and the brightness of the LEDs doesn't change all that much. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to modify this one and this one here while it's still outside. I'm going to put 3 LEDs in parallel, like this. I think that's much better. At least I don't hear any noise right now. So yeah, I'll do the same with the red one. And the red one's done too, and that's how it's going to look like. So this should be dry by now, and we can start assembling the whole thing. One last thing, it's an optional step. I want to sand the edges down after gluing, so they're all nice and smooth. And I'm just going to use my sander, my hard disk sander that I've been using. It's, I might as well show you how it works. It's actually quite handy. This, the only thing is it makes a mess. There you go. I told you it makes a mess, but it gets the job done reasonably well. So I really like it for my as one of my tools. Anyways, let's just tidy up the mess. And the last thing is just to hammer in the nail into those holes. So we've got nice pilot holes for the legs to push in. And let's put some tape on here. So this is going to be like this. So we want it roughly about to about here. So glue this on and cut off the excess. And the positive should be in the middle. So we need to do it like this. And this should be in place, aligned with the holes. We should be able to just press it into those holes like so. And here on the other side we've got the two power leads protruding, so I'm just gonna trim those and bend over. That's the positive one, the one in the center. And if I find my battery holder for the center, push it in from this side like this. Oh, I should have actually stained this. Ah, okay, let's stain it. Now to stain the wood with just shoe polish, this is just a regular, I think that's from Sainsbury's, a local shop. Just use a toothbrush and brush it on, brush it off, and then if you want to accelerate drying time, just blast it with a hairdryer and it will be touch dry and ready in basically in just a couple of seconds after blow drying. So yeah, I'm just going to apply this liberally, then go wash my hands and come back to you when it's done. And most of all, I do enjoy using things not the way they were intended. I don't know, there is something about it when you figure out a way to use something for a different purpose. There is this satisfaction around it. And this is the wood. After the staining session, I've reattached the reflector. Okay, let's push that back in, exactly the same procedure as before. And this pin goes in here, and let's put a little bit solder on that tab. That's good connection. And now one last piece of wire and the last two bits of soldering. So I need a section of thin wire with insulation on top of it, and just about this length more or less, and stuff it basically into the two holes that I've got over here. This will provide the connection for the negative terminal. This should go in to the hole next to it, with it rather. A little blob of solder there. Like this, and the last one on this side. That's connected, so let's give it a test. And it works. And now we've got two, but I need one more battery. One moment. There we go. Now I've got two almost identical, slightly different chokes, slightly different wiring, and yeah, you can experiment with this. This is basically the principle, but you can make a, I don't know, a fancy little beacon, old battery discharger, you name it, you call it. It's a fun thing to do. It gives you that satisfaction of complete a thing, and it's a really simple project to do when you want to experiment with electronics and you're fresh into it. So I much enjoyed making this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a like if you did. And as far as this video goes, I think that's it. So thank you very much for watching, and take care.